Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss about another very important topic of Angular component, that is lifecycle events or lifecycle of Angular component. Okay, so in this session we will discuss what is Angular lifecycle, what is Angular component lifecycle, what all methods are there, how we can use those methods, what are the purpose of that method. So these all things we are going to discuss in this particular session, and this session is mainly you can see as a prerequisite session for understanding the hooks event. Okay, because we all know that these are the hooks, means the special method that are evoked automatically throughout the life cycle of component, right? So from next session, like, we will be discussing each and every method in detail, practical way, right? But prior to that, we should know about the basic thing, like basic theoretical information should be there that will help us to understand the concept easily. And that's why we are doing this session, where we will just have an overview of all these methods, as well as we will understand what is Angular component lifecycle. Okay. But before we proceed further, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic. Because for time being, we are just mainly focusing on how to, because we are mainly focusing on what is Angular lifecycle Angular component lifecycle. Okay. Fine. So I think now we are good to start with the session, and let's start with the definition itself, because sometime in interviews also this would be a question for you, like, what is Angular component lifecycle? So if someone asks you this question, so you can simply reply that every Angular component goes through a series of steps from the moment it is created to the moment it is removed or destroyed from the page. Okay. So every Angular component goes through a series of steps from the moment it is created to the moment it is destroyed from the page, and then this entire series is called as component lifecycle. Clear? So if we are talking about any lifecycle, that means it is created, then it performed set of operations, different operation through these method, right? And at the end it will go and destroyed. So all these things will work only when user like all these things work in a sequential manner, and that sequence or that series is called as component lifecycle. Okay. Now for this Angular component lifecycle, Angular gives us lifecycle hooks, which is nothing but a special method that run at a specific point in component's life. As I mentioned, like, firstly it will start or create the component, then it will do some operations like ngOnInit, ngDoCheck, ngAfterContentInit. So likewise it will go one by one all scenarios. Okay, and at the end it will get destroyed. So these are the all hooks, or you can say the special method. So don't get confused. Sometimes they call it as a hook, sometimes they call it as a special method. But you should keep only one thing in mind, that these are the special method that are evoked automatically for a specific condition. Clear? And that's why we are saying that Angular gives us lifecycle hooks, special method that run at specific points in component life. Okay. And these functions let us run custom code at just the right time. Okay, so with the help of these methods or hooks or function, you can say that it allows us to run a specific set of code at the right time. Okay, fine. So I think definition wise we are good, that Angular lifecycle is a series of events that are performed from the creation of component to the destroying of the component. Till that, whatever we are doing here, whatever component is doing is considered as a life cycle of that component. Okay. Now these are the methods, and one thing here I mentioned is constructor. Remember one thing, this is not a part of lifecycle hooks. Okay, this is not a part of lifecycle hook, but still whenever there is a discussion of lifecycle event, we consider constructor. Why? Because it acts similar to these method. Okay, although it is a class, like it is a different thing, just keep it in mind, don't get confused. But remember, like whenever we are learning about this thing, lifecycle component events or hooks, then we will discuss constructor also. Okay, so like what, let's say if someone asks you like constructor is a lifecycle hook, so you can say no, it is not, but it is related, somewhere related. How? I'll tell you when we will be discussing the process. Okay, fine. Now what is constructor? And remaining these are the hooks. Okay, so one by one we will discuss each and everything. Okay, so what is constructor? Constructor is a special method that runs when the component is created. Although like there are many things that I want to explain regarding these methods individually, that we will do when we will be creating the practical example, because I have some real world examples that I'll be showing you in the next session in a separate session, so that it would be easy for you. In this session we are just discussing the overview part of it. Okay, so constructor, like here we will just discuss when it calls and what is it is used for. Okay, so constructor is called when the component is created. And why do we need it? Just to set up basic stuff. But remember one thing here, input values are not provided or accessed. Okay, so if let's say if parent is sending some value, so it does not have that capability to receive that value or to access that value. Then we have ngOnChanges. So when input value changes, then ngOnChanges is invoked. Okay, and it is used to respond to the input changes from parent. Then we have ngOnInit. After first ngOnChanges, and when inputs are ready, ngOnInit is executed. But the good thing here is it is used for initializing the logic, because it can also access the input values. Okay, then we have ngDoCheck. Now what is ngDoCheck? On every change detection cycle it is evoked. Okay, so whatever is changed on every change detection cycle, ngDoCheck will be performed. Custom change detection, like this is mainly used for custom change detection, but it is rarely used. Okay, fine. Then we have ngAfterContentInit. What is this? So this is evoked after Angular inserts projected content like ng content. Okay, I'll tell you in example, but just keep it in mind that after Angular inserts projected content, it will be invoked. Now question, why do we use it? When we use it, so when external content is added to the component, at that time we will use ngAfterContentInit. Okay, then we have ngAfterContentChecked. This is evoked after every check of the projected content. Okay, and why we use it? It can be used to act on content updates. Later on we have ngAfterViewInit. So after Angular renders the components view and child views, this function is evoked, and it is used for DOM manipulation or child component access. Then we have second last function, that is ngAfterViewChecked. Now why we use, when it is evoked, it is evoked after every check of components view. Okay, when we use it? We use it for fine tune of UI updates. And at last we have ngOnDestroy. So as its name suggests, it is executed just before the component destroyed. Okay, and obviously it is used for the cleanup purpose and unsubscribe purpose, remove, time or and all. Okay, so these are the all methods that we will be discussing from next sessions onward, where one by one I'll explain all these things, like what is constructor, what is ngOnChanges, what is ngOnInit, ngDoCheck, ngAfterContentInit, ngAfterContentChecked, ngAfterViewInit, and ngAfterViewChecked, and ngDestroy. Okay, so mainly in this session we discuss the overall theory, right? What are the function, what is Angular component lifecycle, right? These things we discuss. And also we just discuss like what is when these functions are evoked, because this is fine, this is fixed, that these functions are automatically evoked as per the condition. So we just discuss when those conditions occur, and also we discuss like why do we use it. Okay, so from next session we will discuss each and every function in detail, and trust me, those examples are very easy one. Like with the real world example, you can easily understand all these functions. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.